everyone, this is Lori from the Crafting Auntie. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you Carolyn Musing's beautiful September devotional kit, which is called Harvest and Hope. And I created this little journal folio, and it's based off of one that I did for a collaboration with Carolyn back in December. I'm also going to be using a couple more kits. Another one is Daily Bread Snippets. I'm going to use pieces of that. And I'm also using Autumn Whispers, which is a kit that is available on Carolyn's Kofi if you are a member to Carolyn's Kofi shop. So this is the journal. I'll just show you a little bit front and back. And then we're going to go ahead. I'm going to show you the papers that I'm using. And then we'll also get into making this project. Okay, so let me show you what's in the kit. So this is a devotional kit for September. So there's going to be a couple of pages in here. There's 3 actually. One I tried to print a couple of times. It didn't come out. So I've decided to not use it. But what we have is we have this beautiful paper that I thought it would be fun to add to the front of the signature that I'm going to be putting together with this. And then I have another one that I'm going to use on the second signature. So I'm going to have 2 signatures. And then just like the rest of the devotionals, we have the quiet time reflections. And on the back of this and on the back of this front one, I did use this lined paper. So that would give more writing space. So on the back of this I did. And then we've got the daily devotional pages. So each day, front to back, look at the tree. Isn't that gorgeous? So I'll just quickly go through these. Beautiful laces. And then each day has a devotional that you can look up the scripture and do your observation, your interpretation, your application, write your notes. Look at the acorns, aren't they cute? So pretty. All the laces on these pages are just gorgeous. Absolutely love them. Beautiful hummingbird. I love the fact that they're just like a shadow, you know, just a real faint image. You've got lots of room for writing, yet you've got something beautiful to look at. So that is the first signature that I'll have with this one as a covering page. And then this one, basically the same thing. The only difference is you're going to have the prayer request sheet, but I did print this on the back. And then you've got more of the pages of the devotional for each and every day. So those would be the 2 signatures. But you have 2 covers here. One really lacy, I love the flowers. This one with the lace and flowers. They're both just gorgeous. And then you have lots of ephemera. So this one's a beautiful one. Gives some direction, and I have just used this backing paper on everything. So we have this one, we have some file little card inserts, New Mercies, New Season, Harvest of Blessings in Due Seasons, Galatians 6:9. And then here we have another flip pocket. So we'll have some fun with this. And then these are like the file folder pockets. Have an idea, something I want to do with this. We'll see if that's going to pan out or not. And then look at this. I just absolutely love this little house. I've got all the pieces. So you've got the roof piece to go on here. You've got the card to go inside. So you'll cut this out. And then a pocket to go on the back. A little card to go inside. This is going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to play with that. And then we have some journal cards and some labels. The Lord of every season bless you with fruitfulness and peace. And the blessing of the Lord makes one rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. Proverbs 10:22. So we're going to have some fun with this. Look at this beautiful bird. Okay, I got so excited. Carolyn came out with these amazing daily bread snippets. So I wanted to print a few of these. Now, I did not print all of them. I printed out what I wanted to use in conjunction with this devotional. So let me just show you those papers before I cut these out. So these will make a fun little envelope dangle. So we'll put the envelope together, and then we can have these cards and these little tags that can dangle from. And I have used this green paper on all the backings for all of these that comes with the kit. And then we have these cards that will go with this. So I have all of these and the decorations and everything, and again it's green on the back. And then I thought it would go great with this. So these are some little pockets and a flip tab. So I have an idea for this. I think it's going to end up on the cover, but I'm not sure yet. And then I have these, and this may be something else that gets onto the cover. I'm not sure yet. And then I printed these to go inside. So we're going to have a play with all of this. Again, it's green on the back. So I'm going to cut all of these out, and I have got all my signatures put together. It's 2, so 2 signatures, and now I'm figuring out what my cover is going to be. Okay, I was trying to figure out what to do for my cover, and at Christmas time I created this little folio. It's like a folio with a journal in it using Carolyn's gingerbread kit, and I absolutely love it. I thought that this would be perfect to make my cover for this devotional, but what I did is I made it smaller. So you can see it's just a little bit smaller. Height-wise is the same, but width-wise is more narrow. So let me give you some measurements. You will need one piece that is going to be 8 3/4 by 6 3/8. And then you're going to score a 1/2 inch on one side of the 8 3/4 side. The next piece you're going to need is 6 inches by 8 3/4, no scoring. The next piece you'll need is 7 1/2 by 8 3/4. You will score at 3/4 and also 1 1/2. And then the final piece you will need is, let's see, I didn't measure this one completely, so let me do that. So overall you will need a piece that's 5 3/4 by 8 3/4, and then you will score at 3/4 on the 8 3/4 inch side and at 1 1/2. So then this will fold in. This is where the journal will go. And some of the things that I showed you from the ephemera, some will go here. This will come over to the front. I'm not sure how my closure is going to be yet. And I also want to use some of the new Daily Bread snippets on the front. So also, I have changed my mind on using the front covers. I'll probably use these somewhere else, but I'm not going to cover it because this is taller, so I would need vertical papers. So what I decided to do was to use Autumn Whispers. And this is a kit that's out on Kofi. It's for members. It's free for members. I have a couple of pages here. I'm printing the rest, and I think this goes very well together with this. So I'm going to be covering with lots of these papers inside and out, and I'll come back to you after I have these all printed and cut and put on to the journal. And then we'll also be talking about the closure, and we'll start to put in some items on the inside and the outside for decoration. I've given a lot of thought to the closure. So I have also decided to work with, Carolyn has these amazing daily bread snippets, and I showed you some of those in the beginning. So I want to take this one and I want to create it into a little window that will open like this, but that's going to go here. It's not going to be the total closure because I have another idea, but I want to use some of these little things with the brads, so the little slide back and forth, and that'll keep this closed. But then I want to use these, which are magnetic snaps. So they look like this together, but when you pull them apart, you might have seen them on a wallet, on a wallet or a purse or something. So they look like this. So you make these little slits and then you put them in, and they're almost like a brad. So then you would just press these down. I thought I would put them underneath here before I go ahead and put the cover on here, although I have already put the cover on here, and I will need to put part of it on this side. However, the journal will be going there, and I may add an additional pocket or something on there. So let me just quickly show you where I have added all the papers. So here we have this on the front. I love this. I think this is so pretty, and I think it goes so well with this. And then I haven't done any of the spines yet because I'm not sure. I may be adding one of these little rings with a screw. So I may be adding one of those onto the spine, but I'm not sure yet. So we got this paper. I just set the pages here. Look at this gorgeous paper. It is so pretty. Absolutely gorgeous. So this is the Autumn Whispers, and then this is the kit that is for members on Carolyn's Kofi. And then if we fold it this way, we'll see the other page on the back. So that's what I've covered with, and I thought this went really well with this kit. So this will go in here. And we're just going to put it in with elastic. So I thought we'd play a little bit with this. So let me just move this aside and let's just work on this. So I've decided to add these two circles back to back. One says dawn breaks with his promises and morning mercies. Now you could put there's supposed to be like a card that goes in there, but you know me, I usually change everything. So I have cut a piece of acetate that I'm going to put in here first. So I'm just going to glue that down. I'm going to go ahead and cut these tabs off. And then I'm just going to seal it. Now, if you wanted this to be a pocket, then definitely leave these tabs on, because then you'll be able to use it as a pocket. I have decided not to, so I'm just going to trim these off. And then quickly ink the edges again. And still want this side flap. So now I'm just going to close this up completely. So just an idea of something you could do with this, different than what it was intended for. Okay, so now that is going to go on the front. So I have these already ready. I've cut them out. And I'm just going to put one on the front and one on the back. Now there are also some mirrored butterflies you could use, but I really wanted to have something of the Lord there. Okay, so now I'll show you how I want to put these on the front. So I'm going to open this up and lay it flat. So these little guys, you only need a hole from a pokey tool. So I'm just going to use my pokey tool. Let me bring this back over so I can see exactly where I want this to be. And then I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and glue it down. I'm going to ink this side a little bit more. And then I think I'm just going to glue it down right there. And it'll be able to flip. So let's do that. I want to make sure this is upright this way so it's not angled. You want to make sure it's straight up and down. And then I'll just get a feel for where I want these to be. So I think I'm going to use 2, top and bottom. Try to do them about the same distance. And then let me grab my pencil. And use my piece of foam underneath. And then I'm going to go ahead and make the 2 holes with the pokey tool. We got one here. And let's see, where's my other one? Right there. And you put these on with the brad. Flip it over and then spread it out. And then I am going to add double-sided tape to make sure that it stays secure. So let me just make sure that that is down good. And then we'll do the second one. Once I get the double-sided tape on it, before I cover the back here, that will give it more secure. So now when this comes over, we can move these to the side. Make sure this is straight up and down, and then these will just fold right over the top of our little flap here. Get them to move a little bit freer here. There we go. So there's one, and then the other. Just like that. So that will actually, that makes a nice closure as it is, now that I think about it. I did want to use those other snaps, but maybe I'll save those for another project. I kind of like the way this looks. What do you guys think? I think it's an easy closure. So then you can open it up, flip it open, see the other side. I kind of like that. Okay, I think I'm just going to go with that. I don't think I need the other items. So there's our closure. Okay, so I'm going to continue working on this. I've got some more cutting to do. I also have some other pieces that I want to get together, and then we'll put them in together. And I'm also going to add the signatures in here. So I want to do that as well and do the elastic binding. And then I'll come back to you. Okay, I thought I'd come out here and show you a few things that I have in mind. So these are individual little pockets. And what I decided to do was when I cut them out on one of them, I decided to use a tab so that it would be a little flip. And then these go inside like so. So get the cards inside. Okay. So I was thinking, now this would typically then go with this, and you could make this also into a flip. But I decided to, I may use this as a pocket somewhere else, but I decided to glue this down. I'm going to leave this tab on here, glue it 3 sides, and then I'm going to add, well, before I glue it down, I'm going to add this as a little flip down. So hopefully that makes sense. So I think what I want to do is glue this on here. So we'll do that here first. So that'll be a little flip down. And then I'm going to glue this down on 3 sides. So even the bottom part, we're going to glue this and the sides. We'll make this into a pocket. So we'll put that on here, like so. So that'll give us a pocket. I can add some cards too. And then we have this little flip down. Now this one I'm going to put together. So all I did was I left the white on here. I'm going to ink this up. And then I'm going to glue the 2 pieces on 3 sides. Like so. So it's going to make our little pocket. And then I thought I would have this one come down this way. It doesn't really affect the picture, so I think that would be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. So the journal is going to go in here. I have not done that yet. I still have to cover the spines. But over on this side, so we have this little flip with this little envelope and then this card. So all I'm going to do is glue these 2 sides. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And then I have this label that I thought would be cute right there. So got that. And then I thought I would put this here. And then I have something else from the Snippet paper pack that I want to add behind this. So I'm going to just glue down this flap. Try and get it even. And then I may do some kind of decoration on the back. Maybe we might even use this as a pocket. You know, that's a great idea. Maybe this way. That way if it peeks out, we have a little bit of room. I want to use all these pieces, so I'm going to go ahead and put this pocket on here. Okay, so we have a little pocket there, we have a pocket here, and I have this, I have this. May the Lord of the harvest gather your days with grace, filling your heart with fruitfulness, your soul with steadfast peace. As the seasons gently change, may his mercy never fade, and in fields of golden promise may you walk in his light unafraid. Go forth with hope abundant, rooted deep in Christ the vine, for the God of every season will keep you and call you mine. And then on this side it has this gorgeous bird. So I'm going to tuck that in there. And then here we have this pocket and this card. And so I'm just going to add the pocket here. I have a label that I want to put on it. And I think I might make this a little belly band. So I'm just going to glue here on these little tab sides. And I'll kind of come up a little bit. right about there. Oops, that's straight, Lori. And then we're going to glue the long side around the bottom and up this part and glue this down onto this part of the journal. And then this card will go inside. I'll just lay it there for now. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to put these in off camera. It's just going to be eyelets and it's going to be elastic. And then we've got this here, a pocket, got another flip pocket here, got this card to go inside. Okay, it's good enough. I can always, when it's completely dry, I can add it in better. This one, I'm just going to tuck in there. Okay, so I have one more piece that I will show you, but I'm not going to put it on yet because it's going to go here. So this is, it's adorable. So we've got this little window pocket. I've chosen not to put acetate because I want to add resin to the card that goes inside on the bird. Okay, so you're going to score and fold all of these, including here. And then this will come together like this. This will get glued down onto the page, so it'll flip. This is your card, which will go inside. And I want to add some resin to him. And then look at this, guys. You've got this adorable pocket. Go right there on the back. And then blessed is the man that trusteth the Lord, Jeremiah 17:7-8. That card will stick in there. And then the cutest thing, after this is on, look at this roof. So we just add the little roof piece to the top. So I'm not going to put it together yet because I need to still cover this. Now that I've decided not to put the magnet snaps, I think that I can go ahead and add my double-sided tape to this and add my paper to cover it. I'm going to go ahead and put in the signature here, and then I'll come back to you and we'll do a few more things, tucking in some cards and a couple more things to add to our little journal folio. So I'll turn these around. Now, one thing I did do, I want to show you, is I had this just a tad too close. So it was rubbing right here. I'm going to add some more ink right here. So I took it off and moved it over. And then what I did is I made a little belly band. So I also used a decorative punch. So maybe you can see the decorative punch. Looks like leaves. Okay, I have a couple of last items, and these are from the Daily Bread Snippet kit that I want to incorporate into this. The coloring just goes so well together. So this is a double pocket flip. So what you do is you're going to attach, this is A, base A, and we're going to attach it to B. So let's do that quickly. We've got these side pockets that go in here. So just going to score and fold the tabs. And then the taller ones go on this one back here. And then just make sure you've got room for that bottom part to flip up. So as long as that flips up. One on one side and one on the other. And then we do the same thing with the smaller ones. So I'm going to put this one on here. Just make sure it flips up. And then these will go on the front. So here, I use my bone folder to make sure I get these down really well and scored and folded really well. And then this one goes on the other side. just like that. And then there's this little decoration. It's going to go right here. So these two little pieces, so put glue on the back of this one, and then glue it on the inside of this little guy, like that. And then it's going to go, let's see, how do I want it? I think I want it that way. So I'm just going to glue a little bit here on the pocket because I want to make sure I don't glue it shut. And I'm going to put the little acorn kind of facing that way. And then there's these two cards. And they have writing on the back plus on the inside. So one will go there. Same thing here. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, Psalm 18:2. So there's writing on the back. That one goes in here. This one says, the Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. Nahum 1:7. Okay, so there's that. I thought it would be fun to put this guy back here. So I'm just going to glue it straight down. I'm not even going to make it into a, well, no, I'm not going to make it into a flip. I'm just going to glue it straight down. You can make this into a flip, just so you know. But I think I'm going to go ahead and glue it straight down. And just kind of right about there. Make sure it's straight. And that way this, when it folds over, will cover it. Now I added a couple of these tags that also come in this Daily Bread Snippet Kit. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Hey, Hebrews 13:8. So I have two of those here that I wanted to add in. And then there's this little guy. So these are little pockets, envelopes. So they look like this. And then you fold these over just like you would an envelope. And close it up. Give it a good press. And then this little card goes inside. And then on the back, you've got this little hole. So what I thought I would do is I'm going to match these up, and I'm going to punch the hole with my crocodile. Now, it does not have to be this big, but I'm just going to use the small setting. And then I thought what I would do is use just a bulb pin, and I have some of these autumn charms. I have this pine cone, and then I also I'm going to use a smaller acorn. So I got those. So there's two of these. So I'm going to use got the bulb pin here somewhere. There it is. Just going to take one of these, add the charm onto it, and add it here. I'm going to let that dangle down. So just about like that. Now, I thought I would put one here just for fun because I think it needs something right there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just going to glue this one down. Actually, I think I'll make it a little pocket. Maybe I'll find something to tuck in there. So just 3 sides. And then I'm just going to kind of center it right about there. So that'll be a fun little thing here. And then I have one more, and I think I'm going to add it. I think that'll be fine. So same thing, I'm just going to glue this down. Glue the envelope shut. Add the card, The Lord shall guide thee continually, Isaiah 58:11. Tuck that in there, and then put my tag up here and punch the hole again using a small. Add the bulb pin and this little pine cone. Add the pine cone, whoops, and put it through here. And let that dangle down. And I think what I'm going to do is do two sides, here and here, and it can be a tuck this way. So let's do that. There's so many ways you can do these, just depending on what you want to do. So we'll put that there. And then if I choose, I can always add a little tuck in there. I think we are just ready for a flip through. All right, it is all finished. So most of it I have done with you. Just a few things that I have done off camera that I'm going to show you, and that is adding some glossy accents. So you'll see some of that shimmer in there and shine. Also, I added some of the foil to the back of it, and also some glossy accents here and there. I have not decided what I'm going to put on this dangle. I'm probably going to make something and add it as a dangle, but I haven't figured that part out yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the inside. So this is our closure. This is where we use these little slide tabs. This is from the Daily Bread Snippet Kit. So I created just this little flip. Now normally it's a pocket and there's tags to go in there. I've used the tags elsewhere. I decided to cut these circles out and add it here and here. So it makes a little window. And I originally was going to put on some magnetic snaps, but during the video, as you see, I decided this was enough as a closure. So this opens up, so then we'll open up here. And on this side, this is also from the the Daily Bread Snippet Kit. So these are the envelopes with these little charm hanging tags. I added this little charm here, and then this card that goes inside. I added some glossy accents to it. See that shimmer? And then this is another pocket flip. Has a pocket in the back with this card. A lot of these I've already talked to you about, read them to you during the construction of this. And then this tag here that I added glossy accents to, and then that goes right inside this pocket here. So I thought it added some fun elements here. Now this is also a belly band. So you could tuck in paper if you wanted to write maybe some thoughts as you're going through the journal and you want to tuck it in here into the front. So you've got this belly band here. It is put in the signature with elastic. So I have done that using only 2 of the eyelets, and then I double wrapped because it is 2 signatures. So we'll see that in just a moment. So here, another piece of the ephemera that comes with the kit, Harvest and Hope. Now this is a belly band, so we could tuck something in there. I haven't. This is New Mercies, New Season card that goes into this pocket. And then I just added this as a little tuck spot belly band. So you could tuck anything in there. Have a little piece of paper here with these butterflies on. So yeah, this can be used as a belly band. We open this up, and first we have this little flip and this pocket with this card in here. And I did go over this during the construction. And I added this label here, which is the Gathering Grace that matches here. Another one of these little envelope charm tags here with a tiny little acorn on it. And then this is a pocket from the kit that typically would go with a pocket I have over here, but I have made it separate, and then I've just added a couple of cards in here. Here on this side is this flip that comes into the Daily Bread Snippet Kit. So you've got a flip envelope here with this card that goes inside, and then you've got this one here with this card in here. Now I did do some glossy accents. Kind of see that? And then here is the journal. So here is two of the two signatures that I put together. And you can take these sheets out to write on them. You can still write in here. I tried to make it where it was as flat as possible. So I'll just really quickly flip through this. But it's pretty much the same as the other devotionals that Carolyn has done as far as this part of it, except for all the gorgeous artwork that she puts in here. I mean, they're just beautiful. So here is the first signature. Look at this gorgeous hummingbird. So beautiful. All the flowers and the scripture. Just so much in here to study and write about. Gorgeous flowers. I just love it. Lots of writing space. So there's the first one. And then again, look at this gorgeous, beautiful hummingbird. The Bible. I absolutely love this. And I just love the way they're just, you have lots of room to write, but you still have something beautiful to look at. So we have all of this. Whoops, did I miss a page? No. So fun devotional. I've tried to make one for every month, and then I have a video where I created a box that you can put your devotionals in if you decide to make all these. And I tailored it to the first 6 months. So my plan is to have the journals for the last 6 months. And next year is when I'm going to be taking each one of these every month and doing the study. I didn't have time this year, but that's the beauty of these, is that once they're made, you can always do them at any time. So next year I plan on working on them. And these beautiful papers that I have here on all of the inside and the outside is from that gorgeous kit, Autumn Whispers, which is a freebie for members on Kofi. So if you're a member, go out there and grab it if you haven't. Here is where I created these into flip pockets, and I showed you how I did that. And then they have these cards that go inside, just like this. So you could write on these, and then there's also room to write on the back, because it's just a neutral paper on the back. And then here is the other part of the pocket that I put here. So I just put it here, added this in the front, added some tags here. Now these are the tags that would normally go into the pocket that I had showed you previously. So I have a couple of these, and then on this side we have another one of these charms that I showed you along with this, and then we just close it back up, and then in the front we have these tabs that closes this for the closure of the whole journal. So that is my project with the September devotional, and I hope you guys will go check it out. I'll have all the links below for all the kits that I used, and hopefully you'll go and check it out and give it a try. So we'll see you at the next video. You guys have a great day. God bless you all. Bye.